Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Up nice and early after the game last night, which finished very late for me, about 3 a.m. in the morning. But we're here live, guys, for Breaking Dawn every morning. As we know, the dedication is peak, guys. This is what we do, of course, for our football club. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and smash a like on the video if you guys could possibly do that for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Now, let's get straight into it. Now, look, you know what? I want to clear up a few things. First, let's talk about the game last night. Let's analyze the game. Look, you know what? I'm not going to flip-flop from this. I've always said it. I don't take the friendlies as a gospel of what's going to be in the coming season. What I do, however, is I basically look at performances and resemblances from what happened last season. So when you analyze the game and you look at what happened last season in the serious stuff, you know, it does give you an idea, because at the end of the day, these players may not be going at 100% in friendlies, but the simple things that we're making mistakes on are concerning me again, because these are the things that we were doing last season. The inability to hold on to leads. We looked very shaky yesterday, very nervous. Absolutely. Giving the ball away, kicking the ball out of play. These kind of things that can be avoided are the problems that Man United have had over a year now. And even through the Ten Hag days, Man United had these issues. Now, what's going on with some of the players? And I said it, guys. You cannot have a rebuild if you've got 6, 7, 8, 9 of the same players in that team. The same players that flattered to deceive yesterday. You don't think that those players are going 100% last season. Of course, they're going 100%. They were going 100%, but they just weren't good enough. Their mentality wasn't quite there. And this is exactly my biggest concern. I know it's a friendly. I'm not going to overreact. But what I would say is that this is my concern for next season. That the characteristics of what happened last season are reoccurred during this friendly. They didn't only reoccur in this friendly, they reoccurred in the Leeds United game as well. Obviously, there was that good game against Bournemouth, but you're going to get the odd good game, of course. There were positives in the game. I felt that Cunha and Mbeumo, there were signs that, you know, these two players are going to do very well together. We looked very quick up front when they were playing together. We looked very sharp, dangerous as well. But if there was a highlight reel in regards to Berardi, Wilcox and Vivell, how much Manchester United need a striker, how much Man United need a midfielder, and indeed, how much Manchester United need a goalkeeper, this was your example, guys. Everything all rolled into a little bunch. Right, now, we cannot prioritize one position. We cannot. Man United have glaring issues. The Man United goal-scoring thing has been a problem. Of course it is. The Man United midfield thing has been a problem as well. But what do Manchester United do? Manchester United are obviously going to move Bruno into that number 8 position. And like I said, guys, I don't agree with it. Like I said, I don't agree with it. But Bruno will be moved into that number 8 position. And then obviously we got the 1 position is going to be fought out by about 4 players, isn't it? Mainu, Casemiro, Ugarte, Collier, Kone, even 5 players there who are going to be vying for that 1 place in that midfield. 1 place, 5 players. This is why I believe that Ineos won't make a move in that midfield until they offload one of those midfielders. Of course, we got Casemiro's on 370 grand a week. You can't just remove him, you know, and because he costs too much money. They have to offload him first. They have to get rid of him first, of course. So Man United need to get as many new players in as possible. Because at the end of the day, I do not trust these players. I've said I don't trust these players. These players have got a lot to be desired. They have to prove us wrong. They have to prove to us that they can do it, because at the end of the day, we've seen what they've done last season. So we have to hope that, you know what, we get some players in by the start of the season and we have a relatively new team out there. We're not even asking for a new squad. We're asking for a new team. That's what we want at the end of the day, guys. And you know, when I look at things and I analyze things, and there's certain players on that pitch who've been there, seen it, done it in a bad way, they're doing it again, and I can see them doing it again. There's a lot of talk, a lot of PR, and I have to say that, guys. Bruno does not fit in the system. He is a stats guy. He's a stats guy. He would do stats things. He would score lots of goals. Maybe he might even do some assists and score lots of penalties. But one thing I would say about Bruno is plainly this, right? Sometimes you can have a player that scores lots of goals, maybe assists lots of goals, and the team won't do well. But when the player leaves, even though he has the assists and all the goals, the team do better as a team, as a unit. And I think this is what Manchester United need to concentrate on. The unit, the team, what works for the team. Stop shoehorning players into positions. You know, I saw something very, very concerning yesterday in regards to Bruno. I saw something very concerning, and it was basically Bruno kicking the ball out of play, you know, badly, and you know, when it was an easy pass to make, and then pointing at Mbeumo saying you should do this and you should do that. Mate, sort your game out. And Mbeumo is done it at Brentford, mate. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I don't want to be seeing that. Fix your game up first, and then when your game is fixed, then you can start throwing things at, of course, the players and the stuff like that. Of course, as a captain, you need to look after your own game as well, of course, because when I looked at that, I thought, oh my goodness me, what is he doing, guys? You know, and he needs to fix his own game. So there's lots of glaringly obviously mistakes, of course, but you know what? Hopefully, fingers crossed, this week is a massive week for Manchester United. We will have, hopefully, some news in regards to Sesko, in regards to his decision. His decision is imminent. I repeat, his decision is imminent. You know what? We hope that he chooses Manchester United. Obviously, Manchester United are working on a deal for Benjamin Sesko. But what Manchester United want at the moment, the entourage of Manchester United want, is for Benjamin Sesko to commit his future to Manchester United, so that eradicates other teams from bidding for Sesko, because they'll look at it and think, oh, he wants to go to Manchester United. That's where he wants to go. And hopefully, we get some news this week, of course, guys. That'd be absolutely fantastic. But what was glaringly obvious yesterday, and what Manchester United must do, they must not neglect the problems in that football team. They must not neglect it. There are certain positions in that football team I don't think are as bad as people think. The midfield, yes. But Mainu and Ugarte are fine. I felt that they were fine. I just feel like Man United were giving up, certain players were giving away the ball. I thought Mainu was good. Ugarte, though, was giving away the ball a lot. And that is a big issue as well. So Ugarte needs to stop. You know, I mean, the simple things you got to do right at the end of the day. You have to concentrate on the simple things. But this is why Man United could have accepted 100 million for Bruno and got a Belabor, for example. Do you know what I'm saying? If they sold Bruno, do you think Man United be worse with Belabor right now? Do you know what I'm saying? He's 31 years old. We have to remember that at the end of the day. So 100 million. And look, guys, I see things with my own eyes, and I'm looking at things in a way that I want to like these players. I want to like these players. I want to believe in these players. And you know what? I want to be a little bit more enthusiastic, but we have to call things as they are. Certain players there are simply not good enough for the team. And that's what I would say. They may be good as individuals, but as a team, they're not good enough in my humblest of opinion. And I have to say that, guys, you know, it's going to upset a lot of people. It will upset a lot of people, but we're Manchester United at the end of the day. And we shouldn't be, you know what, forgiving and believing in things that evidently have let us down over the years, of course, guys. Big up everyone who's joined me today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're all doing well. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like. Guys, of course, it is a big week in regards to transfers as well. Manchester United and Sesko, of course, may be closer this week. Of course, it is up to Benjamin Sesko. What decision is he going to make? Is he going to commit his future to Manchester United? And is that the last signing for Man United? Or will Man United do the unthinkable and sign a couple of more players that we need, i.e. the goalkeeper and the midfield? And the goalkeeper is not out of the woods, guys. Buy-in there was atrocious yesterday. Absolutely atrocious. Did not do anything right yesterday. The own goal, he didn't even go for it. He didn't even move. I mean, so slow, not concentrating, daydreaming. Really, really bad goalkeeping. And we got a warning earlier in the game when there was a shot coming from Everton and he pounded it straight out of straight to the Everton player, and the Everton player hit the post. We could have easily lost that game, to be honest with you guys. Absolutely. Now, let's get straight into your comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream, guys. Hope you're good. Big up, Randy. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. Going for your therapy. You know, the age, seeing you later. Seeing you. Hope you have a great day. Big up, Randy. Have a great day, my friend. Enjoy it, and hope you're well, my brother. Hope take care of yourself. So my view that we need a midfielder more than a striker. You know that Ugarte was a benchwarmer at PSG, must be replaced. I don't think he was the biggest problem, Randy. I don't think he was the biggest problem in our team. I think Ugarte did okay. Obviously, he made a mistake for the goal for Everton, but I think that it was a much more experienced player. But one thing I would say about this season in regards to Ugarte, the jury will be out this season, obviously. When Ugarte was playing for PSG, he had the most ball recoveries than any other player in Europe. So, Afro Soup, Morning Sal, starting to show Dalot exposed us. Absolutely. Midfield is too open. The same problems from last season. Playing the unnatural positions will cost us big time. Heaton, by the way, is better than that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's coming towards that territory where Heaton is is our best goalkeeper. Do you think that Heaton is our best goalkeeper? That is where we get into that territory, don't we? And will Heaton start against Arsenal? Look, I wouldn't be opposed to it, to be honest with you. But there is glaringly obvious mistakes in there. And this is what you get when you play players at position. Even if you play one player at a position, it does disrupt the whole balance of the team. This is what people don't understand. This Dalot on the left was absolutely null and void. Dalot is not a left winger. I said it before the game. It does not work. He should not be playing as a left winger. Right, he's not even a right winger. He's a full back. He stays back, and that's where he is. He should be playing in a defensive lineup. That's where he should be playing, in a Crystal Palace, in an Everton, that type of team. That is who Dalot should be playing for. He's not a Manchester United fullback. Banging your chest and things like that does not get me on the edge of my seat. What you do on a football pitch, how you perform, is what gets me on the edge of my seat and what makes me believe in you. Because at the end of the day, banging your chest after every single tackle, when you made 1,000 mistakes in a game, at the end of the day, it just does my head in. Sal, my request at IMMINENT, lose the words, pain and suffering, be a coach and not an alarmist. My request to you, Mickey, is look at the board and understand that it's still got the same players from last season. And the same players are going to make the same mistakes, as we said last season, as we said at Eric Ten Hag. At the moment, there's two players that have come in Bumo and Cunha, and they did pretty well yesterday. But we need a lot more than that. He needs a new team. We can't be going into next season with 90% of the same team that flattered to deceive last season, of course. Mickey, play with 10 men on the pitch. Let Bruno foul around, mope, shrug around and position goalkeeper. If we win a penalty, he can come on, still the glory. Can you remember Bruno winning one penalty? Like, at the end of the day, I agree with this, Mickey. I do agree with this. I just feel like when I'm looking at Bruno struggling his arms around that he's not inspiring for me. He is not a bloody captain, for goodness sake. And I would single him out because he is the captain. He is the captain. But he was also the captain of the sinking ship that happened last season, when we came 15th. He was the captain of the sinking ship. He was the one who guided us to 15th place. You know what I mean? You remember when Roy Keane was playing for Manchester United? You wouldn't remember, but when Roy Keane was playing for Man United, he was the manager on the pitch. That was the quote. He was the manager on the pitch. So he was responsible for most of the things that Manchester United do on the pitch. If he was not the captain, if he didn't act as a captain, he will get blamed. Why is Bruno exempt from blame? At the end of the day, this guy runs around the pitch, slow, sluggish, blaming everyone when he kicks a ball out of touch and things like that, blaming everyone. It is crazy. Big up, Kenny. Has been an issue for a couple of years. I think certain players have been an issue. Good morning. It's Monday, the start of the whole new week. Hope everyone is well. Big up, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Of course. And big up, Marky Mark. How you doing, fella? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. How are you, man? Very well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. The midfield infos, have you heard anything? Nothing in regards to midfielders. Man United have to obviously offload one of the midfielders to obviously sign a midfielder. When you look at the midfield, as I said, Man United got 5 players going to be vying for one position, Marky. And it's not right. Bruno shouldn't be guaranteed a spot in that number 8 position, but it is what it is. Of course, we've rejected 100 million for Bruno, so I think they're going to end up playing him. I know it's ridiculous that we're going to be rejecting 100 million to play a player out of position, but this is what we're going to do. And there's going to be five players basically playing for one position. So I don't think Man United will make a move for the midfield unless we get rid of one of those players, guys. The only thing I can envision is if Man United manage to sell Sancho, if we manage to sell Anthony and Garnacho, maybe then we might move for a midfielder. Of course, Ben Jacobs spoke last week about Baleba, that Manchester United are interested in Baleba, are aware of Baleba, but his price tag might be a little bit steep at the moment, and Manchester United could revisit that transfer next summer, guys. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, I know there was a lot of problems at Manchester United, not least the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is very important because the goalkeeper is the difference between winning and losing that game at the end of the day, isn't it? As well, we have to look at that. Bruno, for me, I've always felt this. I know there's a lot of Bruno FC people out there. I think he needs to be rotated. I don't think he should be guaranteed a spot in that first team, despite being a captain. There's certain players there that I just don't think are good enough. Harry Maguire, I don't think he's... Luke Shaw, these players are just simply been... They reminded me of days of the past, the bad days of the past. You know, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, these type of players need to be moved on as well. And as soon as they come on, look, lo and behold, we looked at absolute calamity at the back, didn't we? Amram, we trust, absolutely. Big up, Amir. Hope you're well. Go, Man United. Big up. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Jenny. How you doing? Kunat and Boomer look very good, Jenny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Very, very good. You can see the signs there, the patterns, the chemistry between the two. That's the difference, isn't it? You can see the difference. And I don't want these players to be sucked in to the negativity of some of those players on the pitch. Because at the end of the day, when I look at Bruno, I'm not inspired. And I know I don't want to keep bringing his name up. There are a lot of players out there who shouldn't be playing for Manchester United in 2025-26 season. They shouldn't be at the end of the day. But it is what it is. But I want what's best for us next season. I want what's best for Man United next season. And there's so many glaringly obvious mistakes in that team, in my opinion. Absolutely. Good morning, Sal. Good morning, Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? Worry me. Midfield worry me, and Amram need to drop Bruno when it needed. Yeah, I agree. But morning, Sal. Bruno, Rasmus, Dalot, Shaw, get them out. We need two midfielders. Big up, Randall. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We need it, but we're not going to get it, guys. As much as we need new midfielders, we need reinforcements in that midfield. I don't think Man United are going to get two midfielders. Definitely not. Absolutely not. Because, you know, the problem is what we're saying. And my biggest criticism to Ruben Amorim would be this. And if I could speak to Ruben Amorim, I would tell him face to face, it doesn't matter how professional Dalot is, how professional Bruno is. What we want is people who can get us through games and win football matches. This is what it's all about at the end of the day. I would much rather have a Pratt playing for us right now than and win us games than a professional who runs for days and you know what, we're losing games. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, absolutely. Amir, Summer Series A trophy is more beautiful than the Club World Cup trophy. I did enjoy the passing spell, starting to see better players. We do need better players, marking. It's not just about the midfield. That is a simplistic way to put it. It is about the whole team, the balance of the team, the two wing backs. In regards to yesterday, I mean, I don't think that Dalot is a left wing back, and it completely disrupted the balance of the team. And when you look at the right hand side was pretty good. Ahmed did good in the first half. In the second half, sort of, you know, I'm aware here and there. But in regards to that left-hand side, it was null and void yesterday, wasn't it? Too slow, build up too slow from various players, guys. It's not just a simplistic thing. We bring in a Baleba and things are going to automatically turn into the kingdom of success. It's not going to happen, is it? At the end of the day, these players are talented, but there's some players in that team, and I think there's a lot, including the captain, who are just not fitting the system and the team, to be honest with you. Absolutely. Some of them haven't for years. The squad togetherness is a lot better. That is a good thing, John O'Connor. Well, I'm not going to exactly totally be doom and gloom. The squad togetherness is a lot better, of course. The vibes are a lot better, of course. But now we need to understand this, is that are some of those players good enough to play for this football club next season? You know, because at the end of the day, we start off really tough fixtures. And we got Arsenal in the first game in a couple of weeks, guys. In a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, we got Arsenal. Are you confident in regards to that Arsenal game? That's what I would like to see. We need midfielders before we get strikers. Dalot offers nothing going forward, washed up. We don't need anything before anything, Chow. I would say this is a very simplistic way, mate. As I said, mate, it's a very simplistic way of watching football. Man United need both. Man United it's not just the midfield. It's certain players in that team that shouldn't be playing, that would disrupt the balance of the team. You know, it disrupts the balance of the team. Certain players don't fit the balance. You may have the players there in midfield, Ugarte, Mainu, Casemiro, all these players there. You know what I mean? Collier. You may have the balance there, but at the end of the day, you may have the players there, but at the end of the day, you've not got the balance. And that is the problem at Man United at the moment. They've not got the balance. Look against Bournemouth. Dalot didn't play on the left, did he? He didn't play on the left, did he? But it was a proper team. We had the Dorgu on the left. We had, obviously, Ahmad on the right. And the team played a lot better, didn't it? Balance at the end of the day. It's not just that. If we could sign right now Walton and Baleba, and trust me right now, it would not improve. It would not improve. The problem is playing players in their right positions and and it does take only a couple of players to ruin it. Absolutely. We do need some players and in full set of midfield. Absolutely. Premier League, Summer Series, Champions League, you'll never seen that. Absolutely. Big up, Amir. Absolutely. Sal, when Cunha used as a striker, we lost many things from him. Absolutely. Guys, look, at the end of the day, look, you know, people just thinking about the midfield, it's a buzzword. You know what I mean? It comes from people with low ball knowledge. It's not just the midfield. It's not just the midfield. That exposes your ball knowledge because you're not watching the game. You're not watching it properly. You know, the problem was individual mistakes in that team, giving the ball away. You can have Wharton, you can have Baleba. If you're making individual mistakes all around the pitch, you're going to lose games, whoever you got in the midfield. And that's what it is. The first game came from a mistake. The second goal came from a mistake. You know, and that's what it is. And that's what ultimately costs you games and costs you points, doesn't it? At the end of the day. We need a team of Ineos or frauds. Amarim will be the scapegoat when we get sacked, but the window has been shameful. It has been shameful so far, Step. It has been shameful, and we can't defend this window. Just signing Cunha and Mbeumo is not good enough. Rumours about Sesko. Hopefully, Sesko will happen this week. Hopefully, we get some announcements, some positivity. But as I said, that this Sesko saga will go on and drag on until the Arsenal game, in my opinion. Guys, absolutely. It will drag on to the Arsenal game. Absolutely. Guys, yeah, it will be. Ephraim, Bruno was not good yesterday. He was poor, and that's what I'm talking about. It just takes one, and he was in the number 10 position. He was in the number 10 position. This is what I'm talking about. It just takes one player to disrupt everything. This is what I'm talking about. Exactly, Ephraim. Good morning, Chris. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good afternoon from Thailand. Let's hope for a great week this week, light week, and let's get behind the lads. Absolutely. Johnny, big up, mate. Really not sure about the season without any more signings. I agree with you, Johnny. I mean, it is glaringly obvious that Man United need new signings. There is obviously problems in that football team, the whole team, of course. And you do not prioritise anything, of course, any player, of course, guys. Absolutely not. Sal, false nine does not work when we play a physical side. We need box. I mean, obviously, Ephraim, he was trying things yesterday. This shows you the glaringly obvious problem is, and this is where you get to ball knowledge, guys. When you have a team that don't fit certain positions, the whole team is going to be disrupted. Now, I saw numerous amounts of times yesterday where we got the ball and we didn't have a natural number 9 up front where we can pass it into the natural number 9. That is the difference between having a player who's played up front his whole life and a player who plays a number 10. And that is the difference, guys. There is a huge difference between that. You have to understand the difference. You have to understand the impact that not having a striker has on that pitch. A striker moves the team forward. Having a good striker, a physical striker, a strong striker holds that ball up, moves that ball forward, brings other players into play. That's what a good striker does. Bruno is not a striker. Cunha is not a striker. They are number 10s, and that's where they should be playing because they will be wasted in those positions. They've done so well in those attacking positions at Brentford and Wolves, respectively, and they should be playing there, in my opinion. Amarim wants Bruno to stay. He will definitely be playing every game. That's why I don't understand. That's the problem, and that is the problem that I have. Absolutely. That is not a starter. He's best a bench player. Amarim needs to know that ASAP. The problem is, I would say this, Ephraim. Absolutely, I agree with that. Ephraim, spot on. The problem is with Ruben Amarim, and Ruben Amarim does a lot of things right. He's a great manager, but what I would say is that every manager has their flaws. Every manager has their mistakes, and this will be his mistakes. Playing players based on personality, playing players based on you get on with them because they speak the same language. It's pretty obvious, guys, that is what's going on. And we need to move away from this. It's when Sir Alex Ferguson did the same. That's why Sir Alex Ferguson picked David Moyes as the new Man United manager all those years ago because of the Scottish influence. He has to play players based on performances on the pitch. Watch the game and don't put the blinkers on your favorite players. And that's what I'll say, because at the moment I do think that sometimes he puts the blinkers on when he watches Bruno or Dalot. He doesn't really acknowledge them. He's like this, do you know what I mean? And he needs to watch them, in my opinion. Dalot shouldn't be a starter, let alone a fullback. He shouldn't be anything. Absolutely. Big up, Roy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Lost to frigging Porto. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined. Big up, Roy. Don't worry about it. Season is long. Mark, unfortunately for Amarim, being Portuguese continues to be the most important attribute. He may not have a long left, continuing with Bruno and Dalot as he failed with last year. Mark, I said it many, many times, and I'll say it again. I'll stress it again, that Bruno and Dalot have been years at Manchester United. Years at Man United. What have they done at Man United? The odd FA Cup here and there. You know, at the end of the day, Crystal Palace proved that you can win an FA Cup. They've been years at Manchester United. You know, and we've got to look at how many years of failure they've had. You know, and that's what we have to look at, and not just look at the passport. And people talk a lot about, oh, but look, you know, these English players get favoritism. What about the Portuguese players who are getting favoritism right now? We're flattered to deceive and stat padding and scoring penalties. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, you need players who impact games, not just can score a lovely penalty. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Ephraim, Ugarte need a midfielder who can pass the ball, who can do dirty things. I agree with that, Ephraim. Exactly, my friend. Spot on, Ephraim. You speak the truth. Absolutely. Educated opinion. Agree, Kenny. Dalot should never start, but the manager is trying to find a place for him. This is exactly Donovan. Donovan, this is what I said last night, and people were trying to say, oh, you know what, but blah, blah, blah. Dalot should not be playing in that left back position. He should not be playing in the right back position. I just don't think he's good enough for Manchester United. If Man United want to go to certain levels, I don't think he's good enough for Man United, in my humblest of opinion, guys. And he hasn't been for a while. Champions of the summer. Big up, done and dusted. Hope you're doing well. People, Man United South, 4 weeks' time is coming. We got to do well. Glory, glory, Man United. Come and beef. 2 weeks, we got Arsenal. 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Sal, Sesko choose us. Do you think the deal will be done quickly? I don't think the deal will be done quickly, Ephraim. I think that Sesko could choose Manchester United, and Manchester United could negotiate with RB Leipzig and take ages to negotiate with RB Leipzig. That is the biggest problem that Man United are going to have. Of course, Barada did speak yesterday about how they're working around the clock, trying to get transfers in and fix the squad. I mean, how big is their clock? Because at the end of the day, how slow is their clock? Is their clock on reverse? Because what I'm seeing at the moment is very, very slow business. Man United need more. They need more. It's pretty evident. And it's not just one position. It's all over the pitch. The only place I could say Man United are pretty secured is the centre-back positions. That's the only thing with Aiden Heaven, with Lenny Yoro, maybe a De Ligt. I think they're pretty good, those three. The rest of it, and Dorgu, I think, is all right. But when you've got the likes of Dalot, Bruno in that team as well, those two players are playing with 9 men, guys. We're playing with 9 men. The goalkeeper as well, not good enough. That's 3 players out of the team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And 3 players can make a huge difference in any team. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. Kenny, unfortunately, yes. Big up, Nuts. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. It was a tough match that showed United still has a lot of work on. I agree with that, Nuts. Absolutely. A lot, guys. Absolutely. Griezmann is an old man, my legend, but he's on his last legs. I can't believe he's still playing for Atletico de Madrid, of course. Guys, big up Hell Genio. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. I view Ugarte as a Herrera. I don't expect him to score 30 goals a season or play like Kante. Players like him is important to have in the squad. People who don't get that haven't been in teams. Exactly, mate. I agree with that. I mean, people blaming him. I can't believe. I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest problem was glaringly obvious yesterday in bright day and daylight, right there. Bing, bing, bing. You know what I mean? The problems that we mentioned before the game, of course. Helge, people act like he's the worst player in the world, and if we'd signed Guerrera and sold Ugarte, we'd win the league. Absolute mugs. What's wrong with the new generation? They hate our own players. At the end of the day, Helge, look, Man United could sign Baleba. As I said, Man United could sign Wharton. It's not going to change a goddamn diddly squat. Because I'll tell you this right now, whilst you got Bruno, Dalot, the goalkeeper, in that team, which are the most important parts in that team, and no striker, four positions there that are extremely, glaringly, obviously a problem, you're still going to lose games. Don't think that we signed Baleba and Wharton and everything is going to be rosy in the garden. It will improve maybe slightly. But you've got Bruno and you've got Dalot and you've got a striker you've got a very, very weak goalkeeper. That's going to cause problems next season. Yeah, at the end of the day. Because I didn't see a problem with Mainu yesterday. I thought Mainu was pretty good yesterday. I think Mainu deserves his flowers as well. I think he kept the ball well, didn't really give away the ball, was passing the ball, give and go. To be honest with you, I thought it was really, really, really good. Big up, Chichichi. How you doing, my friend? Please, Onana is way more better than Bayindir. He's not better than Bayindir. They're very, very similar. Bayindir is crap. Heaton should be playing in goal. Absolutely. Ephraim, Shaw is a liability at this time. Exactly there, guys. Look. Thank you, Ephraim, for bringing this into the show. We got Dalot, Bruno, Luke Shaw buying there. 4 players right there who are not good enough to play in this team. They're not good enough. Luke Shaw looked like Luke Shaw does not look fit. What is going on with Luke Shaw? He does not look fit. He needs to go and leave. He needs to leave, guys. He shouldn't be playing for Manchester United. Absolutely not. Amir, you're talking smack again, mate. It's being too positive. By the way, everyone here, take 2 seconds to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. We've got 119. I should really get 119 likes, really. In theory, shouldn't I, at the end of the day? Thank you so much, LG, absolute legend, of course. Morning, Devils. Morning, Mark. How you doing? Mark, you're absolutely right, my friend. We need Dulga in. He was our best part of the tournament. Absolutely. What was the difference between the game against Bournemouth, who are a better team than Everton, the game against Bournemouth, and the game against Everton? Luke Shaw, Dalot, those 2 players completely swayed the balance of the side, completely turned the balance of the side on its head. Now, I look at that and I think, yeah, no, you know what? As I said, it takes one player to come in and change the scenario. It does. It can change the scenario. But it also takes one player in the team that can disrupt the whole pattern of the play and the team, of course. Chichi, I need to be positive now. Please, no one builds a house in one day. The nicest thing is how Amram has a structure. You know, the problem is if you got a house, Chichi, if you got a house and you keep maintaining this, you got a brick right in that house. And the brick in the house is right in the middle and a very important part of the wall, right? And then that brick is loose. That pillar, let's say pillar, that pillar is loose, right? That pillar is always going to be loose and the house will continue to collapse. If you continue to build the same pillar with the same foundations and it keeps collapsing, that is it. You can have a great structure of a house, a beautiful house, but if 1 or 2 pillars in that house do not fit the whole structure of the house is going to fall down, isn't it? That's what's going to happen. And it's going to continue to fall down. And it doesn't take 10 pillars. It takes 1 pillar or 2 pillars to contribute towards the house falling down, isn't it? And this is Manchester United's biggest problem. We got a great structure there. Beautiful. We got it. Yeah. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pillars who are not good enough for the structure of this house we are trying to build. Rome. We're trying to build Rome with breadsticks, guys. That is what we're trying to do. Yeah, we got a couple of things that are stone, that are cement, but we've got breadsticks holding some things up, and that is the problem, in my opinion. Mark, big up, Mark. Why just are we seeing Shaw and Dalot in the United team? I cannot believe we're seeing Shaw and Dalot, Mark, in Man United team in these days in 2025. Absolutely. Sal, I saw that Donnarumma has already said yes tonight. Is that true? Donnarumma has obviously spoken on Italian TV. Of course, I have a connection to Italian journalists and TV. Of course, guys, basically he said that Manchester United are a prestigious club. They're one of the biggest clubs and most famous and historical elite clubs in the world. And he would love to play for Manchester United, basically. Donnarumma signing for Man United will be an absolute game changer. It's exactly what Manchester United need. Guys, absolutely exactly what Manchester United need. And that was evident yesterday when Bayern didn't even go for the own goal from Ahmad, of course, whether it's Ahmad or Heaven, one of those players. He didn't even go for it, did he? He didn't even dive to his left or right. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and it was an awful one, of course. Helge, you are so spot on. Thank you. The midfield. Okay, we fixed the midfield. And then what? What are we going to blame on then? De Ligt or someone else? Oh, God, to the next toxic. I mean, people don't understand. People don't analyze football. People have platforms. People don't analyze. They watch football with vibes. They don't really watch football with facts. They don't really watch football with their eyes and see what's going on. I've seen a lot of football. I've been supporting this football club since the late 80s, Helge. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of football. I know what works, what doesn't work. I will bring you to the Champions League final. Balance is so important. The Champions League final in 1999, we had Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, David Beckham, the 4 midfielders who usually play for Manchester United. Those are the 4 midfielders who usually play for Man United. Unfortunately, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes were suspended. So we had to move David Beckham into the midfield central, Ryan Giggs to the right, Blomqvist on the left. The balance of the team was disrupted. Individually, they're good players, but they were not in their correct positions. And Bayern Munich dominated the game, ultimately. Until Beckham moved to the right, Giggs moved to the left, and we brought in, obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Teddy Sheringham. That's when Man United starting to do their bits. But when you have a team that is imbalanced, you cannot look at the midfield. Indeed, you cannot look at various positions on the pitch and say that this is the problem, and ultimately, exclusively, this is the problem. This is what we need to change, and that's it. Because that shows a lack of awareness of what's going on the pitch, and that is where we go wrong, guys. Man United need a striker. Yes, we do need a midfielder, but I think Man United, most important, need a striker and need a competent goalkeeper. Those are two things that Man United need right now. Man United need to stop playing Dalot, and that is the problem. That is the thing. Dorgu should always play on the left, or Diego Leon, and it should be obviously Ahmad on the right. And then obviously Aiden Heaven, De Ligt, and Mazraoui should be playing in that centre-back position. I personally, guys, it should be either De Ligt or Euro, Aiden Heaven or Mazraoui playing in that back three. It should not be Maguire should be playing in that back three. Absolutely not, in my opinion. Beef, damn right, Sal. Just under 2 weeks to play Arsenal. I'm a little worried. Don't worry, guys. Absolutely. Big up, big UK business. Not just the midfield. It's a simplistic argument. Absolutely. Marky Mark. Yes, we have made too many individual mistakes and players out of position. I know that we wanted to try something different, but we need to hit the ground running. We do. And Marky Mark, I would have liked Man United to start playing their first team. Do you know what I mean? The team that would start against Arsenal. I wanted Man United to be leaning into that a little bit. And if this is the team that's going to start against Arsenal, we might as well pack up and leave, because at the end of the day, the balance, the certain individual players are just not got it, guys, and Arsenal will punish us. So what Man United need to do, we need to look at what happened in the Bournemouth game. What did we do well against Bournemouth, guys? You know, and what how can we replicate something like that? And the biggest thing that Man United had against Bournemouth was balance. And you know what? That's what I would say at the end of the day. Defensive errors, bigger. There was cheap giveaways, lack of pacey right back, pacey left back. You mean? Ahmad is very, very quick. Mark, have you to watch Bayern there as a goalkeeper? Is the worst thing I have watched as a United fan. Have you seen Onana, mate? Onana's far worse than Bayern there, mate. And I would say that is big thing. Onana's cost us Champions Leagues and things, you know. I think a lot of people need to hear what you are saying regarding the midfield noise. People don't think before they speak. Can you educate people a bit more on it? I really think there's a people need it. I don't think people watch football. I worked in football for 40 years. I worked in League One, obviously, and with teams like Leyton Orient and stuff like that in the grassroots level of football. I've managed in football. I've coached in football. I've actually watched football and stuff like that. And when you think about it, you know, it's not just ultimately one position that Man United's problem here. I could argue that Man United are too slow on the ball. There's not only them. There's too many passes between the players and stuff like that. Too much indecisiveness when we're going to pass it. We had moments in that game where I thought, yeah, this is good. I like the way we're playing in regards to Mbuma and Cunha. I was like, yeah, this looks pretty good. This looks pretty sharp. I like this and stuff like that, you know. But then again, you get to certain players in that team and it's just not right. Now, I'm not saying that every single player is. Look, as I said there, Helge, Man United could sign Baleba and Wharton, but if you're playing Dalot on the left wing back, if you still got Bayern there or Nana in goal, you know, if you still got Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre-back, the team is going to struggle if you got Wharton and Baleba. It doesn't matter, guys. And this is the thing what people need to understand, that there are certain players that should not be playing for Manchester United in 2025, and that is my argument, Helge. And you get it, Helge. I know you got ball noise. You get it. But some people need to stop looking at vibes, stop looking at Twitter, what people are saying, and look at their own mind and look at the players that ultimately are costing Man United for many, many years, guys. Absolutely. Look, I'm not saying Man United don't need a midfielder. Maybe it's great if we do get a midfielder. Maybe that'd be good. But Man United need a lot of things right now. You know, I was watching the game yesterday and people say we don't need a striker, we need a midfielder. There were about 3 or 4 passes in that game where if a striker, a natural striker, i.e. Sesko, was playing for Manchester United, they would have made the run and the pass would have been made and Man United would have scored. Let me tell you that right now. There were a number of times in that game. Mbeumo proved and Cunha proved they are not strikers. They are number 10s yesterday. That's what they proved yesterday. And they're very good number 10s as well. So why are we going to sacrifice Cunha and Mbeumo as the number 10s? We need a focal point up there, a player whose expertise is scoring goals. You know what I mean? Helge, last message on it. Get a midfielder, yeah, but we won't sell anyone. As you say, Bruno will play most games as a number 8. Casemiro, Mainu, Ugarte, Kona, and a new at 8, and for one position next to Bruno. Exactly, Helge. What are we going to do about that? This is exactly what Ben Jacobs said the other day and stuff like that, and what I've been saying for weeks and weeks. How are we going to fit a new midfielder when we got 6 bloody midfielders, right, fighting for 2 positions? You know, and Bruno's going to play, as I said. Then we got 5 midfielders playing for 1 position. You know, it doesn't make sense. Remnant, my friend. Pep only played false nine because he had Messi. All other teams have failed. I agree with that, Remnant. The only time I remember, big up Remnant, by the way, the only time I remember it actually working slightly for Man United is when we played McTominay as the false nine against Manchester City. Do you remember when we played him there? But it doesn't work every single time, and it's not the way to go forward, in my opinion. There's no substitute for having a world-class striker. A proper gunman who could put the ball in the back of the net. That's what Man United needed last night. That's what Man United have needed over the last year and 2 years, because obviously we've been minus goal difference under Erik ten Hag and under Ruben Amorim last season. Big up, Coco. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Marky Mark, maybe he did this to expose the weaknesses in the team to show the board I'm trying to stay positive, and I think he is the coach. He is the coach, Marky Mark, and I agree with that. I'm not going to, you know what we do? Like, you know, we can talk about it, what can be better, we can fix and stuff like that. I hope you're right, Marky Mark. I really hope you're right. But my overriding concern is that he over-relies on Bruno and Dalot. And that is my biggest issue. When they play, we're not the same team. Let me tell you right now. Dorgu is a different level to Diego Dalot as a left wing back. And then you got Dalot, who can't even play right wing back in his natural position. His natural position, I think, is full back. He's not even a wing back. He doesn't go forward. He can't cross. He gets the ball, passes back, gets the ball, passes back. And guys, how many times do Man United get the ball and pass back? That's nothing to do with Amorim. Getting the ball, pass back, passing it side to side. That's nothing to do with Amorim. That's overall culture and mentality of the team, isn't it? Confidence of the team and stuff like that. Coco. I just got back from Atlanta. Big up, Coco. Seeing the boys live, and it was nice to see Mbeumo start. But the concerns for everyone in the stadium I talked to is that we need a midfielder. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't have the ball knowledge. We need more than a midfielder, mate. It's not just a midfield. It's a striker. If you're watching the game, if you're there, you see the game, Coco, you would understand that. Absolutely. Guys. Marky, I don't think managers and messages through drawing, losing games. That's ridiculous. They just talk about both. They don't get to send the cryptic messages, lost games. Everyone, thank you so much, Marky Mark. Big up. Thank you for your support, my friend. Thank you. Why can't Bruno and give Cunha or Bruno a pen to get them started? I agree. Did you see the free kick from Bruno, the Remnant? A great free kick, just saved by the goalkeeper. Guys, yeah, I agree with that, Chow. Talk is cheap, especially with this team. I don't trust them. So who is the best captain you think in United squad? United. So I don't know, mate. I don't see any captains at the moment. If I was Manchester United, I would remove the captaincy from Bruno Fernandes. I really would. I remove the captaincy from him. It's up to Ruben Amorim, because Ruben Amorim knows personalities. He knows what players are like. If I was going to pick a captain right now, when he plays, it's Licha Martinez for me. That's the guy who I think should be captain. I think Man United need to move away from the Bruno captaincy, because I don't think it is helping his game. Absolutely. Again, indeed, we need to reassess our priorities, but more important, I think Amorim needs to trust it and needs a trusted starting 11. Yep, absolutely. Ugarte sexuals moaning. Ugarte moaners moaning. Absolutely, when they're not looking at the football match properly. But, good morning. We need to belabor our midfield needs reinforcement. Michael, I think the striker needs reinforcement. Look, guys, you've got to really pick up your ball knowledge, man. You got to watch the game. You got to learn. Look what happened, guys. Look what happened in the game. Look what the problems were. The problems were Dalot and Bruno. Bruno played at number 10. Dalot played as a left wing back, right? A left wing back, and we had no striker up there. We had, think about it. Come on, guys. Come on. It's just when I had been on other players' Instagrams, Twitters, they have a lot of support from their supporters and hate from rivals. When you go on our players, it's hate from our own fans. I'm ashamed. Big up, Helge. Martinez came onto the pitch after the game, but did not train. It does look like we will start anytime soon. September, I'm hearing. September, Coco. September. The top three experiment on 2 days is a no-go. I hope Amorim learned that. Yeah, exactly. And that was the overriding problem, Coco. Shoehorning players into positions that they're not playing that. And that was the problem yesterday. The midfield did okay against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are a better team than Everton, right? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, look, the biggest thing, the difference between that game and this game is that we actually had a balanced team against Bournemouth. And balance is important. Guys, thank you so much, Ephraim. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Guys, absolutely. Held, some days I'd wish they get their expert choices. Well, we will see you, Ugarte, buy Hackney or someone, buy a hipster keeper or striker. We now need to be top four. Hate is strong word, but I hate them mugs. I mean, people are silly, mate. They're just crazy at the end of the day. Look, let's sign a new midfielder. Let's do this. Let's do it, and let's see what happens, guys. We will be here this time next year, and if we carry on playing the players out of position, it's going to be the same thing. Absolutely. People think Bruno has a mentality. I'm not sure about it. I don't think Bruno has a mentality. I think what Bruno has a blame culture. He's a blame guy. He blames everyone else. He doesn't look at his own thing. And I saw it yesterday, him kicking the ball out a play. You know what I mean? And then blaming everyone else. That is the problem. That's your captain. You are as good as your captain, guys. Remember that. Absolutely. Fellaini starts over Ugo. Man, come on, man. Ball knowledge, Vex. Learn it. Coco. I'm not Bruno's biggest fan, but the guy does sweat. I don't care, mate. I don't care if he sweats on the pitch. I don't care if he sweats on the pitch. Maybe that turns you on, Coco. I don't know, bruv. But I don't care if he sweats on the pitch, to be honest with you. I don't care. What he does on a football pitch, in a talent-wise, is what I care about. Bruno's a liability as a centre midfield. Need a world-class centre midfield, resistant, and someone who can dictate the tempo. It's not just a problem, as I said. But then again, only 99% of people don't know, do they? Youth players should step up. Can we bring some new kids in there, Sal? Hopefully, mate. Youth could step up, but it's a little bit of a risk, isn't it, at the end of the day? The midfield is an issue, but not the issue. Absolutely. There is a lot of issues. I think having a striker that scored 4 goals in the whole season and the worst goalkeeper in the club's history is more important. Exactly, Helge. People are not looking at vibes, Twitter. That's what they're looking at. Twitter generation, not looking at it with their own eyes, of course. But there we go. Man United need a lot of things. Be patient, Ruben Amorim. Big up, Amir. Big up. We have Mainu Ugarte, Casemiro, and Kone. Up top, we only have Højlund, who is allergic to goals, and Onana Binder, who couldn't save. Exactly, mate. There you go. Thank you. There you go. And that is the problem. And also playing players out of position. True, but I don't think areas can improve in the midfield as a result. Big teams have, big six have. We have Casemiro. Casemiro, what, the 5-time European Championship, Coco, the European champion. He didn't play yesterday, by the way. He came on as a substitute. Helge. So basically, those people who are saying Wharton, Baleba would affect our team more than Donnarumma and Osman. What would it? I mean, no, it wouldn't. Exactly, Helge. It would not. Absolutely, it would not. Even if we sign Sesko, nothing would change. Yeah, if we're playing, look, guys, we could have Baleba, we can have Wharton. It's not going to make a difference because at the end of the day, if we've got Dalot as a wing back, if we've got Luke Shaw as a left-sided centre back, we've got no striker. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? We're playing with 8-9 men. You know what I mean? The biggest problem yesterday for me was Bruno. Bruno was poor. Luke Shaw was poor. Those are the biggest problems for me. At the end of the day. Better looked dangerous yesterday. Yeah, cheeky bid. Look, he held up the ball very well, very big. He's a unit, isn't he, Ahmed? I've been saying a lot about Beto for a long time. Very good player, number 9. Really good player. Don't think Man United make a bid for him, though. Man United are not that intelligent to look around and find players like that. But Sesko can play that role, and Sesko does have that strength to do the things that Beto was doing yesterday. And this is what I'm talking about. A focal point, a striker who can hold up the ball, bring other players into play. It helps the team, relieves pressure off the midfield and stuff like that. That's what happens, of course. Helge, so the people saying get a midfield want to sell Mainu or sell Casemiro, who can't be sold. Ugarte, who Amorim won't sell. They are just spouting shit with no thoughts on how it would work. The problem is, I would say, is exactly what I said over the last coming days, and people ignoring it, that Man United have 4 players vying for 1 position. 5 players vying for 2 positions. So if Man United have Ugarte, Mainu, Casemiro, Collier, Kone, that's 5 for 1 position already. If we add Bruno, that's 6 for 2 positions. 6 for 2 positions. Unless Man United sell, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but unless they sell Casemiro, Collier, one of those, or loan at Collier, and sell Casemiro, Man United can't make a move for a midfielder. And that is the biggest issue at the moment, that we're having at the moment, absolutely. Does Ruben rated Kone? He didn't even single me. Maybe he's seen more of Kone than we have seen, Chow, isn't it? Maybe he's not good enough. Timo, hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're good. Bless you, my friend. Good to see you, of course, guys. Amorim system with a back 3 not working. United should play 4-3-3 or 4-4-2. United should buy a goalkeeper, midfield, and a striker. I agree with a goalkeeper, midfield, and striker, but at the end of the day, Ruben Amorim was brought into this football club to play that tactics. Now, everyone knows that I'm not a big fan of 3 at the back. People know that about me. I've always believed that Man United should be playing with 4 at the back. Look, what Man United could quite possibly do is Man United can move to a 4-2-3-1. And that's what I was saying. If Man United moved to a 4-2-3-1, it's something similar. But if you watch the game against Bournemouth, Man United did transcend and did change into a 4-4-2. Watch the game. They changed into a 4-4-2. That's what I like. Football intelligence. Unfortunately, Faisal, no matter if you're playing a 4-3-3, 4-5-1, 4-2-3-1, if you don't have football intelligence on the pitch, these players, it doesn't matter what formation you play. Great players play in any formation. It's not the formation. You have to understand that. Yeah, when there's a balance in the team and good players in the team, just like against Bournemouth, it works like a treat. But when there's not, and there's not football intelligence there, who can transcend from a 3-4-2-1 into like a 4-2-3-1. That, you know, that is what we need. We need football intelligence. People can do that at a sixpence. Man United used to do that in the 90s. Man United just sometimes play 5 in midfield. And then obviously bring one striker off, bring a striker on as a false number 9. Man United used to do all those kind of things. Ruben Amorim is surviving next season. Bit of truth is that we'll rattle the chat. Look, Flex, look, at the end of the day, the only thing rattled is your ball knowledge, mate. At the end of the day, you're going to be blaming Ruben Amorim for this. You're going to blame Ruben Amorim for this. You're going to go after Ruben Amorim for this. You know what I mean? After what's happened this summer. You've seen it with your own eyes, mate. Come on, mate. Wake the hell up. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. You know, come on, bruv. Timo, get the likes up. Finger red. Thank you so much, Timo. You're absolute legend. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well, of course. It's going to be a mad season, guys. I can imagine. I can foresee it right now. Is Sesko coming tonight? I would say yes. That's what I would say. I would actually go as far as to say we needed a Frimpong Vanderson. Exactly how many times I said it, Helge. A goalkeeper, then a striker more than a midfield. We need a midfielder, but a right wing back, a goalkeeper striker is more important. Exactly what I'm saying. Look, Ahmad did incredibly well yesterday, but Man United need a squad that can transcend from different team to team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Ahmad will play well against the low block teams because that is an attacking player. But then there's going to be games where we're going to play against Liverpool and we're going to play against Arsenal. I don't think Ahmad will work as a right wing back. But then again, I don't think it's the biggest problem. I think obviously the left wing back is more of a concern if we end up playing Dalot and trying to shoehorn players into positions. And that is my biggest problem. The problem is midfield. The problem is your ball knowledge, Fetz. Come on, man. It's not just the midfield. I agreed on the striker part. Cunha was much better on the left 10. Exactly. Dalot out, Beef Bully. There you go. More like it. Absolutely. Exactly there, Kenny. Exactly, Kenny. Thank you, Kenny. It is the midfield, striker, and goalkeeper. People are looking at the midfield because they're looking at Ugarte. I don't like Ugarte. I hate Ugarte. That's what they're doing. And they're not looking at everything because they have an agenda against a player. You know what I mean? They're not looking at the whole thing. That's why I can talk about football for hours without stuttering. And you know what? They just like, you know what I mean? Little keyboard warriors. Beef. Pete should not be worried about preseason games. It's just a runner game. I think what it is, Beef, is what you can do is you can take the positives and you can take the negatives. You can see signs in preseason games. Let me tell you that. I remember when I woke up last year, early hours of the morning, and we played Liverpool and we lost 4-0. And obviously we know what happened at the start of the season, didn't we? It can give you a sign of certain players and what's going on in regards to how they're up for the task. They took it very seriously yesterday, Beef Bully. Look at Bruno's face. He was miserable the whole game. He's playing like it was a final. So we have to look at that, you know what I mean, as well. Big up Beef Bully, though. Agreed. There was on Bruno, he was sent off 3 times. Big up, agreed. Was Højlund right to be kicking the post? Is he that desperate? Look, Højlund needs goals, doesn't he? It brings confidence. Like I said, during the watch-along, Bruno is a liability. Can't be asked of him anymore. There we go. I think many of us have been saying it for months now, of course. If we don't sign a specialist midfielder in, what about developing Mount here? I think he could do a job for us. I don't rate Mount, Chris. Never have done. I think Mount is just an absolute overrated player. Always has been. Had favoritism. He reminds me of one of those people who used to get picked for the school team just for the sake of being picked for the school team. I think overall, I don't think he's much of a good player for Manchester United. He's never been a Manchester United player, in my opinion. He lacks the edge. He lacks the intensity. He's got a good finish, got a good pass here and there, but he lacks the intensity for me. I think, yeah. I mean, but midfield, can he play there? Again, it's shoehorning, isn't it, Chris? You know what I mean? Again, into different positions. A sentence you said some shows ago, right, like, live rent-free in my head, by the way. So thank you so much for that. Slapped with a wet salmon or something. That is what Man United are. That's what, but football does slap you with a wet salmon sometimes. It does feel like you're being slapped with a wet salmon when you feel like everything is going your way, everything is great, everything is gravy. You do get a slap with a wet salmon. Absolutely. I need a number. I need a gift for that. Absolutely. Not caring about intensity or the captain, that's strange. We are hammered Rashford for not putting in work. He has to count for something, though. We've been targeting that all show, Coco, about Bruno. Bruno's been the linchpin, the kingpin of the channel chat. He was the one I led with. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Buckwheat, big up yourself. We need central attacking midfield defensive. There we go. Bruno's figures do disguise the fact that he has a lot of bad games and makes far too many mistakes. As I said, Chris, very intelligent comment. As I said there, you can have a player that have all the stats in the world, but if you remove them from the team, you know what? They play, but that we will play better as a team. Let me give you an example, right? Man United had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Andy Cole, Dwight York, and Teddy Sheringham. They were all fantastic players in their own right. Okay, so if we ended up playing Teddy Sheringham, Solskjaer, Dwight York, and Andy Cole, all four strikers, yeah, Solskjaer will score more goals. He will score more goals, right, than, for example, Nicky Butt. He will score more goals than Nicky Butt. But does that mean that the team would do better? No, because the team will be imbalanced. That's what I'm talking about. The team will be imbalanced. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, with Bruno, he's got stats, he's got penalties and stuff like that. But more times than not, I'm not seeing Bruno and thinking, that's my captain. At the end of the day, yeah, he gets the odd goal here and there. But overall, as a captain, he's not leading Man United to winning games. And when a captain is not leading Man United to winning games, it's a bit like a sailor, a captain of the ship, not getting us to the destination 9 times out of 10. Sinking the ship every single time. Would we keep the same captain? It's mad, isn't it? Wasn't Collier loaned out? Not yet, I don't think. Remember De Gea's game against Arsenal some years ago when he made 900 saves? He could save the Titanic. Yeah, I remember it. Ronaldo hat-trick versus Spurs 3-2. Game changes in both. End so crucial. Midfield is nice, but goalkeeper and striker are more important. I agree. I agree. I agree with Helge. I'm sorry. Good morning, everyone watching the channel. For getting under Ugates, I recommend you to start watching this channel for 9 to 10. 6, 7 Eastern. Yeah, big up, Chandiga. You absolute legend. Thank you so much, my friend. Guys, thank you. Absolutely. Ciao. If Amarim abandoned his principles and changed formation this season, I'll be disappointed. Yeah, I don't think he will. Firing 50% of our workforce and taking meals from employees to keep Shaw and Casemiro effect is mad. Exactly. That is what is the problem. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Beef Bully, Spurs got Paulina. It's peak sale. Absolutely. We can get a player like Ndidi to pull the guy ever. It doesn't even matter, mate, who we get in that midfield. If we're playing Dalot as a left wing back, if we're playing Bruno as a number 10, if we're playing with no striker, the midfield will struggle. Let me tell you that right now. As a man who's worked in football, they will still struggle. Good morning, Stephen. I hope you're well. Donna starts where the worse than Anana last season. Oh, my goodness me. Only his championship ball was good. But, mate, he's won a European championship with Italy. He's won Italy single-handedly European championship. Mate, come on, man. Stats don't mean nothing. Stats don't mean nothing. Look at mistakes leading to goals. Look at those stats, Dabizas. Look at those stats. Anana, pound for pound, is Manchester United's worst goalkeeper in our history. Pound for pound, giving performances, giving games. Come on, Dabizas, mate. Mate, your opinion's overrated. Oh, my goodness, mate. Goodness me. Come on, guys. I've heard it all now. You thought Ugarte was strangled baby seals or something. Get away. People are acting on him. He gets. This is because of certain fan channels, certain low IQ fan channels that say that, of course, guys. They do say that. Dorgo and Ugarte is okay, but I need Carlos and Adam Water in his class. Jim and Glazer grab. They're two different players, two different positions. So I fan number one. Mount definitely sat on the front row. Absolutely. Brownest of Mouse. I recognize type. Absolutely. Badia. I've heard it all. My goodness me. Donnarumma. Would rather have Nana than Donnarumma, guys. I'm in shock about that comment, guys. I'm in shock about that comment. That has absolutely swayed me off. Absolutely. guys. Absolutely. Was one of the best young goalkeepers of the season. So I was mad impressed. I mean, people just want to make it. They don't know what they're not analysing the game properly. Look at his saves he's made, mate. Best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. Overrated. Who do you rate then? If you don't rate Donnarumma, who do you rate? Who do you rate if you don't rate the Donnarumma? Big up GK. Scroll back on the show, my friend. Guys, absolutely, you'll see. I haven't landed from the Donnarumma version comment. People are mad. Wow, absolutely mad, mate. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. He played more games last season, probably why he conceded more goals. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what we're talking about is goals leading to errors leading to goals here. Look at errors leading to goals, and we'll see. You're looking at stats, mate. You're not looking with your eyes. Look at errors leading to goals. All right? And you tell me. Look at trophies. Look at Champions League. Look at European Championship for Italy. Won them the game. My goodness me. Dabisas. My goodness me. My goodness me. My good. Why don't we just get bloody Nick Colkin in goal again? Mount is only Champions League winner set for Casemiro. So's Jonathan Greening. Let me find something from the league. 95% accuracy. That means he's better than De Bruyne. Yeah. Exactly, mate. Oh, my goodness me. Guys, look, you know what? It's been an emotional show. I got a feeling it's going to be a mad season, guys. It really is. I got this feeling, guys. I really do. But you know what, guys? Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And especially after we watched the game last night. It's very emotional. People get worked up. And I like that because it brings excitement and passion to the show. That's what it's all about. We have real conversation on here, guys. Absolutely. It's just opinion, nothing to bang your head on. No, mate, we're not banging our head on it. We're correcting you. And just because we correct you doesn't mean we're banging our head, mate. Just because you're made to look like a prat, Davis, doesn't mean you're banging our head, mate. Absolutely, guy. Absolutely. In 4 years, Onana won 3 league in Holland, but I respect everyone's opinion. It's just we're correcting you, mate. That's all it is. Guys, absolutely. Every keeper is better than Onana. Agreed? Yeah, I agree with that, mate. Absolutely. Big up Timo. These people saying that about Champions League winning players did not win with us. I mean, I don't know, mate. Guys, I don't know. Irfan, you're talking crap, mate. Absolute crap. He won it with a very aging Italy side. He won them the European Championship, mate, by the way. Forgot about that, didn't you? Absolutely. I was in spite of Onana, not because of him. Absolutely. Bring him back, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it was Champions League finalist and lost, mate. Yeah, and lost. And let's not forget about that at the Champions League final. Let's not forget about what he did for Man United and what Donnarumma has done for years, winning trophies for years, not just last season, not just the Champions League. He's been winning trophies for years. He's been winning teams for years. Remember that. Look at that. Just because you don't like a player, at the end of the day. I feel intoxicated as well, Helge. I feel like I need therapy. I think I'm going to call my doctor. I had to go for a blood pressure test the other day. Madness, isn't it? Madness. From what I saw, there you go. Here we go. From what I saw from CPL games, Donnarumma was the best goalkeeper in the world. Some of his saves were incredible. He's definitely in the top 5 of the best goalkeepers in the world. Agreed. I think he's the best goalkeeper in the world. Exactly that. Absolutely, guys. He's that. Goodness me. People are looking at platforms. Onana are good for Eredivisie and Serie A and not for Premier League. No, exactly. Donnarumma is built for the Premier League. Built for the Premier League. There are some players who are built for the Premier League and some players are not built for the Premier League. You will eat your stats, Dabisas. But you know what? Fair play. At least you believe in it. Guys, have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you are in the world. This guy is going to single out a game against Real Madrid versus Liverpool. Flop, he make him next and nana. I bet they did flopping next and nana. Look, listen, mate. He's the best goalkeeper in the world. He won a European Championship with Italy. You don't know what you're talking about, Kurd. I've been watching football for 40 years. I've seen the likes of Peter Schmeichel face to face, Van der Sar face to face, and Donnarumma is one of those goalkeepers. Let me tell you that right now. Absolutely. I can't say he's here anymore. Bless up Salino, but I have to go, mate. That's it. Absolutely. Mark, you're letting your knowledge go. Absolutely. Letting your knowledge go again. Working overtime again. You don't know nothing about Van der Sar, fam, because you probably never saw him. Sesko needs to hurry the fuck out and make a decision, motherfucker. Absolutely. He will do. And there you go, UK Rap. Donna is the best goalkeeper in the world. Thank you very much. Absolutely. On that note, I can't believe we're having this conversation about Donnarumma. He's the best goalkeeper. He's a very inspiration, not just about stats, it's about inspiring as well. He's a very inspiring individual. Look at his face, for goodness sake. Guys, absolutely. He puts his body on the line for the football team, and that's what I like. And Nana stays on his line like this. That's what Nana does. He stays on his line like this. That's what your Nana does. And then he does something with his socks when he concedes a stupid goal. He does something with his socks like this. You guys are mad. Donnarumma, I don't know what a crab is, but a crab is something that's in the sea. Not crap. You mean crap? Yeah, no, he's not crap, mate. Your opinion is. Absolutely. He was a regular star for AC Milan when he was 18. There you go. Irfan, hold that. Go to bed, mate. Absolutely. I remember the debut. I was like, what? Absolutely, Helge. Go to bed, mate. Get in Donna. Absolutely, get in Donna. I agree with that. You guys are mad. You guys are absolutely mad. You know nothing about football, man. Honest to God. Goodness me. He has matured his age. It's ridiculous. I mean, goodness me. Come on, guys. Goodness me. I thought we had ball knowledge on here. Absolutely. Irfan, who you're talking to, someone who's been in football a lot longer than you, mate. Bless up, legend. See you so. Irfan's been schooled today. Sorry, Irfan. You need to go back to the drawing board. Have a great day, night, evening, wherever you are, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Stretford Post, and I'll be back later on for Chatterboxer, of course, guys. And hopefully we get some news very soon, guys, with regards to the striker situation, Sesko situation, and we can move on to other player positions in the pitch, including the goalkeeper, guys. Have a great day, great night, great evening. Don't worry about it. It's just opinion, guys. But see you soon. Take it easy. Peace.